First of all, I don't have thin skin. I have very strong, very thick skin. And when somebody's right about me, I always, if you do a report and it's not necessarily positive, but you're right, I never complain.
Your organization
You are attacking our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give us a
is
chance
terrible.
to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's
categorically,
asking a question.
Mr.
Don't be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm
us
not
a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say. Go ahead. How much longer should we stay here, folks? Wait, let's see. I want to find a friendly reporter.
In today's video, we're going to be talking about how Donald Trump gets praised by his supporters for being so thick-skinned and strong.
President Trump, to me, says things to everyone, including all of our government and everything, that all of us common people would like to be able to say, but they were never heard. He's speaking for us.
Why so thin-skinned?
I don't like lies. I don't mind a bad story. If you did a bad story on me for 60 minutes, if it were a fair story, I wouldn't be thin-skinned at all. I don't call it thin-skinned. I'm angry. Well, I don't think that was a fair question.
An impression is created, though, that you like to dish it out, but you can't take a punch.
Oh, I think I can take it. I can take it if it's fair.
When in reality, he's actually very thin-skinned, takes everything personally, very self-conscious, very self-centered, and how the right are actually the biggest group of snowflakes you'll ever meet. Let's start off by talking about this article that just surfaced. It's by Rolling Stone, which indicates that in 2018, Donald Trump's White House reached out to Disney to stop Jimmy Kimmel from making jokes about him on late night. This is a guy who's he doesn't take anything personally, but a guy making jokes about him. And let's also, for the record, he did not attend any of the White House press conference dinners. Snowflake, 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 why can't you just take a joke? There's a constant mocking of the left as the people that take everything personally. It was this locker room talk. It was just this, why can't you just take a joke?
Tell me the most shocking or ridiculous thing that snowflakes have tried to cancel or been offended by.
But if the football man doesn't stand for the magic sky cloth, then Captain America won't leave presents under the freedom tree. We need to cancel him.
Imagine caravanning months after the election for the guy that lost and not realizing you're the snowflake.
It's interesting to see how they're constantly calling other people snowflakes, but when there's criticism directed at them, suddenly they're very self-conscious. Suddenly they want to shut down any dissent at all. Okay, my inbox is filled with people on the right that are very pissed about things that I've done that, fall under the guise of free speech.
Okay, great. Yes. So yes. What at least? Take him to your house. Take him to my house? I'm here exercising my freedom of speech. You exercise your freedom of speech, I'll exercise mine. You're touching people now. I'm touching people. You are exercising your freedom of speech under the Constitution. I'm exercising mine. It's a beautiful democracy we're practicing right now.
So I don't want to hear it from people going like, well, it's the left. Look at my inbox. Give it a rest.
Yes! 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 Come on! Do I say that? Yes!
Now, to some people, this might not be news, right? Them being very fragile is not news. However, it can be a threat to democracy, just as how their heteronormativity can be a threat to public schools and the LGBTQ community, right? Just evidenced by after the election, they couldn't handle losing. He couldn't handle losing, so he levied this entire baseless claim of election fraud that led to January 6th, led to the insurrection.
This is now effectively a riot.
1349 hours declaring it a riot.
It would be really great if we could be covered fairly by the media. The media is the biggest problem we have as far as I'm concerned. Single biggest problem.
That actually happened. I'm sorry. To some people, this might not be news, right? However, you need to also factor in that this is a threat to our democracy, okay? when he lost, he couldn't handle losing. Now, it's come out that he lost. Fox News knew he lost. A lot of big people knew that he lost and were very clear that he lost. Yet, he didn't want to admit it, so he created this entire narrative of election fraud, which led to the January 6th insurrection. All right? And this is a threat to democracy. His fragility is a threat to this entire country. Oh. Now, Trump started this trend of, if you didn't like the election results, just claim the entire thing was stolen. There have been a bunch of people that have went on to claim their elections were stolen. Laura Loomer, Carrie Lake. They've famously, not accepted losses. When they didn't like the result, they just said, whoop, it's all rigged. Even amongst their own party nominations. Our democracy is fragile and it relies on the trust of the people. Since then, we now have laws popping up in counties, states, across the country that are combating this false thing that never happened. All right, it never happened. Yet there is legislation that is going to make voting harder and eliminate a lot of the protections that we have within our voting system, all in service of this one fragile little man who could not accept that he lost.
More than 24 hours after his supporters rioted at the U.S. Capitol, Donald Trump, in a Twitter video, finally condemned the violence that shocked the nation.
To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country.
And for the first time, and in a dramatic shift in tone, the U.S. president acknowledged he lost the election.
A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power.
He has waged war on the free press, and he has also waged war on our electoral process. Now, I went to Stop the Steal rallies after the election, and they were so mad that Fox News called the election for Biden. They referred to Fox News as the liberal media, which almost made my head explode, okay? And when they didn't like what Fox News said, they all went over to Newsmax and OAN. Fox News saw so much loss in their market share that they had to actually start adopting these election fraud conspiracy nonsense just so they would not be hemorrhaging viewers to OAN and Newsmax.